Alright, hey everyone. This is a quick tutorial on how to set up the Git for Unity package, which I just came across. It makes all of this annoyingly complicated process of Git with Unity way easier to do. Turns out there was one that this is a fork of, that was a version that previously existed, that has been basically deprecated and abandoned. So this is an updated version that, as far as I can tell, still works currently. The setup is a little weird, but once it's working, it seems like it's pretty easy to use. I'll include the links for all these when I post this. Now, the first step, you need to go into GitHub, go to Edit, Project Settings, get the Package Manager, and this area here for New Scoped Registry. To my understanding, that allows you to get access to more packages that exist in places that Unity by default doesn't look. So, you can paste the info from here, they show it in the image. Spoiled cat. That erased. Registry.spoiledcat.com. And scope is comp.spoiledcat. Save. Close out of that and then go to the actual package manager and window package manager. Keep opening on my other monitor. Then if it's not already selected, go to the little drop down here and pick My Registries. And you should get this big list of stuff here, with the very first one being Git for Unity. You can install that. Okay, so that should be added now. You can close out of that. And you should have a new option in the window drop-down now for Git. Do that. I personally drag it over to the right of the inspector here, so it's easy. You can see there's a couple things you can do. There's the initialize tab, which we can just do right away first. That's going to create a local repo for this project. The important part, though, is the settings tab. So mine is already filled in, seemingly. I don't know why it's remembering that from before. I'm pretty sure by default it stayed like that. So it had empty stuff. Yours will probably look like that. You may need to fill in this info to log into stuff. But the next step to do is to go to GitHub directly and make a new repo. There's an empty one, nothing in it. I'm just going to call it test. Do not initialize it with anything up here because we don't want to have anything in the project already existing. We want to have it just be completely empty, so that way we can just push right to it without having to deal with pulling. I did that, and that gives just a basic default state type of repo. And you can take this address. That's what you put inside the remote address here. So that is setting it up so that way when we commit and push, it knows where to push it to. And it's going to push to the empty repo that we just made on GitHub. Once that is set, there. You can go back over to changes now, and you should see all of this here. I am assuming that you would already have the git ignore file pasted into the directory for this, so make sure that is there. I know some people are having issues with that. It seemed to be for some people a weird issue with Macs, especially, and it not recognizing file extensions properly. I found a couple links that might help with that, and I'll also upload those as well. You can select all here to select all the changes. You can see in mine, it's properly only recognizing these 4 folders: assets, packages, project settings, and user settings, and that's all we want in there. We don't want it to have the builds folder, which you probably wouldn't have. You don't want it to have the library folder either, which definitely is there, and you don't want that included. So at least for me, it was around 358-ish files. I'm fairly sure the project total was well over 1,500, 1,600, something like that. So that shows that it's definitely properly ignoring things. Bottom area, you can do your commit name. I'm just going to call it initialize repo. You can click commit to main. And that worked. And next step is, you can see push is kind of grayed out. we tell it to refresh. First do that. Not sure why that's not showing up again yet. Oh, refresh took the address out apparently. There we go. Now you should be able to hit push. First time I did this it gave an error, so I'm interested to see if it shows up again here or not. Okay, no, it worked. If you get some sort of error about it hitting like a max file size or a data reach or something like that, not really sure what that meant. When that happened to me, I told it to fetch and pull, and then I tried to push again, and it worked. So if that happens to you, just try that, I guess. I can't replicate it here, so it only happened that one time. But push seemed to have gone through, and if we go back to the repo and refresh, you'll see the project's there. So this is just a much easier way than dealing with command line stuff, which you can do, but there's a little bit more of a convoluted setup to set up the remote branch and all that. It's much easier to just have a built-in integration like this. So, try that out, see if you have any issues. If you already have it working for your own thing in Project 1, or you already know how to do a command line, obviously you don't need to do this then. But if you are currently having issues, try this approach, see if that makes a difference.